exactly what they are doing. They're walking right into Sumail. They get the root. The spear misses. Oh my god. In trouble now is going to be the Shadow Feed. Double raise, but he's falling low already. The Dazzle doing some good healing. The Shackles now onto the Tiny. Noob is about to die, and First Blood will go to Abed. Fly is in no man's land. He did not back with the rest of the team in that direction, so this will be a kill going back to Sumail. So a 1-for-1 trade, both kills going to the mid laners, but your Shadow Fiend has to walk to base now. Or die to Omar. Yeah, he'll die to Omar.
I wanted the regen anyways.
Yeah, that is a technically walking to base, but, you know, with extra steps. Or less steps, I guess.
It's less steps for sure. Fly can at least punch back Omar. You have to be careful here. You mentioned the highest base damage hero in the game. He didn't lose creep equilibrium for having to go back, so I think they still... Like, you can still do well on this lane despite that extra death.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if this mid lane ends up getting modified at all because of these, like, First Bloods. Like you said, you don't really max dagger on the mid lane quap, but you will get it level 1 for sure. Abed should be okay on the Void Spirit here for the first few waves.
Yeah, mid lane we've seen that kind of matchup before. Queen of Pain should do fine to start, and then as you get more levels on Void Spirit, especially as you get over 6, you can't really threaten him like you like to other heroes. Top lane, Dazzle taking a bit of a beating, though maybe it was a bait. Saberlight now in some trouble.
He is in a lot of trouble. He's dead. Rinseku just runs him down.
That's the most trouble you can be in.
That is death.
GH bait confirmed?
This is one of the things that made Slark a lot stronger. The fact that Essence Shift is just an innate now, as opposed to having to level it. You actually just start the game with Pounce and Essence Shift, right?
Yeah, it's really strong. And I was debating which side lane I wanted to watch, because these are heroes we don't get to see as much. Top lane, I'm trying to like think through this synergy. I guess you apply some negative armor with Dazzle and the stronger start because of the Dark Pact Pounce plus the Essence Shift passive, right? You got to respect this a little bit more than you had to in the past. He's got 2 permanent Agi already. They're going again.
Yeah, I think now that Saberlight is level 2, it's probably not as likely that he's going to die to the Slark, because you should have you know, enough mana to keep the Slark at bay. But, I mean, that Rinsky's off to a great start this game as a result of, obviously, that first fight, and then now that, you know, little bonus kill he got.
Bottom's also going better for Noob than I thought. Maybe that's the kills that help make the difference.
Lots of regen coming in from the Dark Willow, though, thanks to the Pixie Dust innate.
Yeah, see, Tiny already has his boots. He's had them for a little bit, but that helps you position versus the Treant versus the SF. Something that goes back to that fast fight. Hellscream, can he get out of here? Passive is on cooldown.
Has a salve. All right, he'll be fine. Yeah, they're looking good, though, in all of their lanes here for the side of NIGMA. I mean, it's mostly the idea that we really thought that this offlane Tiny was going to struggle more, and he's top of the CS.
Oh, they had a sentry in lane for Treant bottom. Taking a lot of damage.
Falling low, but yeah. Okay, he had a Lotus. He should be okay. Omar needs to be careful, though. Tomato playing on the edge here. Doesn't have mana for the last raise. Well, he has a wand.
Thought we would see a point and toss from Noob, because then you can toss from one bramble into another. And that would have gotten the kill. It does use more mana, so I understand why he's skipping it, but it might have given you more kill potential.
Yeah, the Treant Protector feels pretty weak in lane when there's 0 trees that exist in the lane. Top lane, getting aggressive here on the GH, but Rinsecue loves these types of fights. They're going to try and go for the deny, but he ends up dispelling it and lives for Rinsecue to get the kill instead. Yeah, I guess that's one downside of the innate there. Can't really get denied.
Unfortunate. Ooh, Pounce misses. Otherwise, they could have threatened Saberlight because you still have a couple stacks from that earlier play. All right, we weren't sure about this Slark pick, but he is doing pretty well to start here. A comfort pick for Rinsecue, perhaps, as he's Grandmaster on it. Trying to get Noob bottom at the same time this top play's going on. They brought Hellscream in. But Avalanche just too good at getting you away from these kind of plays.
Yeah.
Dire are scanning. Radiant are scanning.
Now, I know we focused a lot on the side lanes, but in the mid lane, Abed actually once again picked up an early lead versus Sumail, who last time needed some help getting a kill to recover. See if VP learned their lesson from that. This time they want to...
Nope. There's the Shackles, Astral Step in, and they're going to look for the burst. They get the kill. GH does not have the Grave to save him. And just as that Power Rune spawns, they will take it once again. Hellscream forced to grab the regen. Unfortunately, they wanted to save that for Abed. Can't really do it. Urn will get committed. He has an Aether Remnant, but yeah, I think he wants to save this mana. Especially now that Sumail will be respawning. Hellscream should be fine. He's got that regen rune running. He doesn't seem all that bothered.
That means Wisdom Shrines, I don't think we'll see any of them get stolen. If you actually get the kills in the mid lane at like the right time, it's easier to make these plays. But, well, I say that. GH is kind of trying, but it's been scanned out. I don't think this should work. Though here comes Rinsecue. I mean, as long as you bring one more hero in, right? It's fine. Yeah, they're going to respect it. The new map layout makes it a lot more dangerous to invade than before. Yeah, so if you're not 100% confident, you see more teams backing out than in the last patch.
Fly back to the top lane. Looks like they want to try and find an opening. I mean, Rinsecue is level 6 in a lane that we... Honestly, I didn't think was going to go super well for him. They do have the Arena on Saberlight. Does get the pounce away. Arena's going to connect. He immediately pops the ult to try and buy himself some time. He'll have another Death Pact here in a moment. Shackles from Hellscream. It's available. There's just no damage, and Rinsecue's going to easily turn this around. It's got to be Abed who comes in. He gets another Death Pact to survive. He doesn't have an Astral Step available. They're healing through everything, and it's going to be Fly that ends up dying, giving the kill on over to the Slark. That is not what you were looking for.
I'll lose the mid rune too. Yeah, the fact that Rinsecue has been having such a good game means he's already level 6. That makes the gank harder, because you would have loved Treant to just walk in and set it up, but now you know when you're being spotted by this Invis Treant, and later on the Shard, goodbye, Shadow Shaman. So they have to nail the Spear and the Arena first, which gives him the warning time to just throw out the ultimate, and that extra healing saves him, right? Abed does connect, brings in a lot more damage, but not enough to finish the job.
Yeah, he had to Astral Step to get there, so he didn't have a second charge. If he did, he kills the Slark. So really unfortunate there for VP, but really well played by NIGMA, and bottom lane, they're really hunting this Shadow Fiend.
One of the best starts we've seen for NIGMA. Yeah, it is. Tomato always seems to do it. He, like, whether he has a good lane or a bad lane, at some point, you do stuff everywhere, and you look back at the guy, and he's like, oh, He's top net worth. How does he always do that?
He's been making a lot of rotations through the gates on the Shadow Fiend. He's been trying to participate in both side lanes. With this, looking to take the tier 1 tower, open up this top side of the map. The downside for Slark is that the matchup into Shadow Fiend, especially early on, is a little bit not great because Requiem will just kill you. You can't really stand on top of the Shadow Fiend. And if you happen to get caught with a spear without your without like Death Pact or Dark Pact, sorry, I keep saying Death Pact because you've seen a lot of clinks. Dark Pact, you will just die. They're gonna look for the arena bottom lane here onto Tiny. Abed will come in and finish the job. Omar actually barely surviving. There was a ward there, not anymore though. All right, well now your Shadow Fiend is dead. Surely, right? No, he's out. Okay.
Oh, the pounce!
Classic Requiem TP.
Well, like you mentioned, you can't just hit the guy. You got to respect the Requiem or you will die instead. So you see them have to back out enough times that he does land the Requiem. I suppose if you really wanted to make the sacrifice for your team, Rinty Q could have pounced as Requiem lands and he would have died, but there would be no TP out for the rest of his team to finish the job. I don't think a lot of carry players are willing to make that kind of sacrifice, though. No arcanes into Greaves in this mid lane. I was hoping to see a little bit more of it.
So I really thought the Tiny would go phase boots, but he's just opted for treads. So it's going to help him farm actually a lot faster. Does have the soul ring, which we expected. And is just rushing the blink dagger.
You can maybe make this change once you have such a good time in the lane, right? Like,
yeah.
We were worried for him, but then off that level 1 fight, follow-up kills, the lane went better than expected. And then besides the SF's early pressure, as the game goes on, like, you're not as worried about physical damage compared to last game, which had the Lucky Shot plus Desolator, right? That was a lot of negative armor stacking. This time it's just the aura from the SF. He doesn't really buy Desolator, so it's not as necessary if you're not having a rough game.
Denied amplify damage. They're trying to find Omar here. He's going to just pop the Bedlam to try and get anything. He gets the kill on the Shadow Fiend. That will be a lasting presence stack.
I think a lot of the mid runes have been
gives
denied
him those
this
temporary
game now that I think
permanent
about it.
souls. Up to 23 now. They're going to look to put some pressure here in mid lane. Arena to block off the backside of this fight. Big Sonic Wave. The Requiem comes out. Fears. Now the Hypnotize into the Shackles. They will get the Slark. Great Arena coming in from Saberlight there to secure that kill as they try to clean up all of these wards. Sumail continue to push them away, though. Should be able to help save the tower. All right. I mean, they defend the tower. Kasi or Slark?
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, they'll be able to finish up that tower later now, though, so I think you don't mind too much. They're going to try to make a smoke play off of this.
They're going right into the
Shadow
Shadow
Fiend. Do have the Blink Dagger on Tiny. He's been having such a good game. This is a pretty fast blink.
That is a really unfortunate time to Mask of Madness.
Free brambles!
Yeah, toss into the Bedlam. They get him. Really good smoke gank. And bottom lane, they'll be able to take the tier 1 tower as a result. Back to an even game. Oh, is Fly gonna get this?
The time it takes to spawn doesn't look like it. Without the blink, he would have done it. If that grasp had come out just a little bit sooner, maybe. A great attempt.
I thought
Let's
he
see if
had,
can get out
like,
alive.
he didn't have Nature's Guys. All right. Nice kill there. Nice rotation back from the... Oh my god, they're going to get Shadow Fiend again.
Oh no.
He's underneath the ward. They do see him. he's got to know that this is coming.
Them.
There's an Invis Sumail, though, that he doesn't see. Gonna go for... Actually, just doesn't have Requiem. Just turning around, trying to get the raises, but... Alive for now. Looking to maybe get more. The toss should finish the job, and it does. Big Arena is gonna catch, too. Another... Save coming in, though, from this Dazzle. Is it going to be enough? There's just no damage coming in from the side of VP, and Rinseq is just going to clean these heroes up one after another. Abed held in place by another Avalanche. No Astral Step for 10. Now in trouble. Has to dissimulate. Try and get the safety. Turns it around onto Noob. Shallow Grave will keep him alive for now, and Rinseq's just going to continue to find the kills as they still keep... the Tiny alive. Oh boy, what a nightmare scenario here.
Final one. I want to see the damage done in this fight when the recap comes up, because NIGMA heroes got so low so many times, but the Dazzle healing coming in, the Slark healing, it's not as extreme as I thought, but 7,000 damage dealt by VP, and they can't get a kill, right? Like, we're talking with heroes who have like 1,000 to 2,000 health at this phase of the game. So all that damage just constantly being healed by Slark's, his ultimate, the Dazzle, and the downside of their support duo, the Shadow Shaman Treant, not a bunch of actual damage in the early game.
This is kind of the bait of a hero like Mars, honestly. They're going to get the Shackle here onto the Slark. Do they have the damage? They don't. Again, they just don't have the damage to find these kills. They'll look for the Dazzle here as they do manage to get the kill on that one. But Rinseq, Sumail, both alive. There's the Arena. A nice Avalanche. Now a Terrorize. They need to finish off the Slark. He's so low, but he will live. No, ticks down at the last second. And now the Shackles continue to find targets. All right, Tomato starting to be a little scary on the Shadow Fiend. If they can find this last kill, this would be massive. Abed comes in. A nice Avatos, though, from Noob. Will instantly punish Abed.
Link should be up in a second for Mars. Guess the right way. Yeah, overshot a little bit, but God's Rebuke kind of peep wide there. Max range hit.
Noob. Avalanche. Okay, he'll be fine. GH is free. The thing is you got 4 lasting presence stacks in this fight, so this Shadow Fiend is super terrifying. It's one of the reasons it started going south for them real fast. 14 AoE minus armor.
Yeah, VP also had a good setup at the start of that fight. They were able to help each other out pretty easily, and a lot of the big spells from NIGMA had to be used to disengage to reset. I think a big difference in that fight as well is how Tomato was there at the start and lived, so his damage is really good. We were just talking about the damage issues from the last fight, because he was taken out first in that last fight, and then it just comes down to the other heroes, and they can't finish the job on their own. So you got to keep your SF alive. Now getting this first Roche, that'll be a second life, so I guess you can let him die once.
Yeah, the Arena, like, Mars is a hero that doesn't bring a ton of damage, but he brings a really good team fight. So you need to make sure your Shadow Fiend's alive if your Arena is going to go out. And you are correct. Makes a big difference when he's there. So Aegis into the hands of the Shadow Fiend.
Tormentor will be pretty big this game. I think the Shard is really good for Tree and Protector. For Shadow Shaman, it's not bad. And then Dazzle and Dark Willow, theirs are not as important, but they're okay. So I think it's really about, for VP, trying to get this for free on Fly, and for NIGMA, not letting that happen. Because Slark is actually pretty good at dealing with it of all the heroes out there, but it is still a big pain to have to be thinking about where all these extra trees are and all the vision, especially when dealing with these instant catch heroes like the Blink Dagger that just finished on the Shadow Shaman. You don't know if you're under a tree, a ward, you don't know where they are. You have to be scared, even if you have a rough idea of where things are. And right now, VP position top, de-warding everything. NIGMA going for the trade on the bottom tier 2. I think it's actually kind of worth it if you sacrifice this tier 2 to get the shard, especially if it's not even a loss and you trade tier 2s, because
yeah, it's like they have
Tomato's
shaman
up top.
This tower is gonna fall way faster than their own. So fortification spent. They're just gonna let the wards try and do as much chip damage as possible, see if they can force back into Galaxy, but they will retreat to the Tormentor right away. They don't have the numbers here quite yet, but the minus armor does at least make it a little bit more vulnerable. And they will pop the mech. It's not dying. It's not dying. Okay, finally dies.
Unlucky.
They cannot fight now. Hell's Creep. He gets
he
that. He
gets
gets the ward. Oh my goodness. Okay, he's stuck here because they don't really have a lot of damage and to finish the job. Like, he can just continue to play around this. Okay, Abed has to come in. Oh my goodness. The D-ward was very funny.
I mean, while I'm here, I might as well. Though, funny enough, if he had, instead of getting the D-ward, if he had just focused on Hellscream, he would have probably gotten that kill. But, well, maybe not with the passive, so maybe the D-ward's better. They do get the Tormentor top, but it goes over to Hellscream, which is not a bad shard, but I think it does pale in comparison to the eyes in the forest.
Yeah, you definitely wanted the eyes in the forest. Speaking of
overgrowth save,
eyes, a little bit of a toss back. He's gonna get the Requiem off, but can they actually keep them alive? The minus armor, the damage, and the Noob's gonna get shallow graved immediately. Big sonic wave from Sumail, the toss to kill too. Noob still alive, and Abed now needs to run. He's got no astral steps to assimilate into hiding in the trees here. As he will make it out. You didn't have the numbers. A lot of your team was back in the fountain because of that last, engagement with the Slark. So they do manage to take the Aegis. Sumail comes in very aggressively, gets hexed. The spear pins him down. The Dazzle's not close enough. They get the kill. Rinseq blink in aggressively with that pounce. Abed will have them trapped inside the arena. And with this, Rinseq is gonna go down as well.
You mentioned they were in the fountain from the last play, but VP retreats, the teammates that weren't there join in, and NIGMA did not respect that. Pushed a little too far into that instant catch. Now, more heroes are being cleaned up. Omar trying to steal this rune away. He's going to fall, while at the same time, on the other side, GH gets found. So a little bit delayed, but a full team wipe for VP. That'll give him the tier 2 tower, and then how many? He's got 4 lasting presence stacks. Not enough creeps here. I think otherwise you could maybe push the tier 3 a little bit. Like, don't actually expect to take it, but you're just chipping it away to make it easier later. But no actual creeps to make that worth it.
He's got a couple extra Necromastery stacks at the moment, right? Only 2. But this is where Shadow Fiend gets really scary. He just buys out a Chrysalis. He knows his physical damage is pretty overwhelming, and you do not want to fight into him with the lasting presence stacks, right? Each kill refreshes the duration of all of them, so that last kill there onto the Dazzle just extended this substantially.
No Aegis anymore, though, so he's got to be careful of the toss back.
All right. They will expire. I mean, this guy's hitting like a truck. The arenas have been very good in these last couple of fights, making sure to not only like isolate the enemy heroes, but keep Tomato alive and able to just like whack away at whoever he wants. Oh, no way. Abed reads him like a book. Good terrorize coming through. He's going to keep Sumail alive into the shallow grave. We'll be able to get the kill there onto the Shadow Shaman, but the question is, can they find any more? Rinsey jumps in aggressively on the Slark. Tomato on the side here with this Shadow Fiend looking for an opening. The Requiem not going to be there. I think they got a glimpse of him for a moment. They will back away. This time, no Shadow Fiend with the arena.
No. And the nice thing about Dazzle is that when the arena comes out, other save supports have to either have vision inside or blink in themselves. Dazzle, you can just send the nozzle projection without too much risk to yourself. You don't need anyone else to help you with the vision. You don't have to waste observers in the arena. And so you can still save someone like the Queen of Pain who gets jumped and then turn the fight around that. Toss back under the tier 2 BKB. It'll get him out, but not the way you want to use the early BKBs if possible. I think that was the first one. Yeah, that was the first charge.
All right. They are smoking directly top to their Shadow Fiend. It's weird because there's not really an objective up here. You know, there's no tier 2. There's, you know, no Tormentor. Roshan's not up for at least a minute. But they do have one ward here to maybe play around if they get vision of the Dark Willow, which they will.
I think that's the idea, that Roche is going to spawn, so you want to set your vision up ahead of time, find any kills you can, like this one. So now, if you get lucky with a quick Roche spawn, you're in a great spot. It's unlikely to be instant, and then you'll need another play. I guess that's another thing, right? Like, you do have an SF. This is actually, and a Shadow Shaman. The Shadow Hero is great at taking buildings, so you kind of do have to respect this and bring some heroes back.
Nozzle projection to clean up the wards. Saberlight is going to get found on the back line potentially, but instead they actually missed the Avalanche toss, and they will find the Tiny instead. It's just a handful of auto attacks from the Shadow Fiend to get the kill. That is more lasting presence stacks. I think that's 2 now. Yep. This is like negative 6. How much armor? Like 16 armor reduction or something? He already has the talent as well. It's a lot.
Can't math
Maybe
like
not that much. They get the hypnotize. Shallow Grave does come out. Rinseq is going to go in. Great terrorize from Omar is going to buy them some time into the Sonic Wave. Sumail gets deleted. Rinseq dies as well. They're going to buy back on 2, see if they can get out, but the Shadow Fiend, baby, the aura is way too strong. Spear comes out. Another one. Noob buying some time with the Shallow Grave, but he cannot run away, and the damage from this Shadow Fiend is just way too high. Triple kill. Omar needs to run away. Speared out. Another shackle. They get the kill onto Sumail. Omar pops the Yules. The game just collapses in front of him. That is just the game, I think. There's so much negative armor from the Shadow Fiend.
He just got the talent for it earlier, along with now, what is this, 16 plus 8, 24 armor reduction? I mean, we haven't seen Shadow Fiend carry in a while, so maybe the teams kind of, you know, forgot a little bit. It slipped. But when Shadow Fiend starts picking up kills, you have to be really careful of snowballing it into more and more negative armor. He started doing pure damage in the middle of this sequence into free bonus damage for certain heroes who don't have a lot of armor. And now, even though the tier 4s have the bonus armor from the remaining barracks, doesn't seem like it's enough. The Ancient doesn't have the bonus armor.
Yeah. The game just ended right in front of us. Like 1 lane of racks into multiple diebacks. 4 diebacks, actually, and Shadow Fiend just ends the game. Just like that. Virtus Pro take the 2-0 over NIGMA Galaxy with a snowball of events.
Man, what? That's how crazy Dota can get. We're talking about like, oh, I guess, you know, set up for second Roche, you know, like see what you get. Oh, maybe we just end the game, guys. I don't know. Like, let's go push. And then NIGMA, unfortunately, I think went a little too soon on the defense. Omar was, I think, like 5 seconds away from respawning when I think the Tiny was going to go in to try to toss someone back, but they actually react fast enough, which, I mean, credit to Hellscream and Saberlight for turning the gank into their own gank. But with that, you just snowball that sequence. The negative armor just kept building and building. And I think there was also a clutch save from Fly. Rinseq was about to kill off Shadow Shaman, which would have made the fights a lot easier, right? Once you take out that control. But I think there was a Lotus pass over during the passive, keeping him alive. You get the kill on Rinseq, and then you can look for more with the lockdown that's still available. So very fast end to that game, which I thought we were buckling up for like another 10 minutes at least, but VP takes it all the way. They're going to continue on. They're not fully qualified, They're gonna have to place Falcons now, so it's a long road to go, but at least they make it through this. And unfortunately for the NIGMA fans out there, they are now knocked out of this qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it at the end of the game. It was 24 AoE minus armor to anyone near this hero. I actually can look at their items. I don't think they actually bought any, like, I don't think there's any other form of negative armor on this team, but he just rushes Daedalus. So the moment you come near this guy, he was just chunking you for like 900 damage and auto attack because you're taking like 200% damage.